So this is my formal living room, and I just have been planning out where I'm gonna put things. And last year I had in this corner my 7.5 foot green tree on a table in this corner. And then before that I had my 6.5 foot flock tree on a table right there. In order to get a tree on a table over there, I have to switch my couches because I have a longer couch here than over here, so I have to switch those around. And while I was thinking about where I'm gonna put everything, I came up with the idea to put my big wreath above my mantle. So that's what I'm gonna try to accomplish. I just moved the big painting that I've had up there. Now I'm gonna put together that big 60-inch wreath that I have, and it looks amazing with cluster lights, and I've measured, and I think it's gonna look really good here. So I'm excited. I'm gonna put this wreath together and see how it looks. See if I can hang it. Here is my big 60-inch wreath. Bought it last year. I have links on LTK and for this wreath, and then some other similar wreaths in case this one's not gone, but this is a great wreath. It really fluffed out, super full, super huge. I loved it. It looked great on the windmill, but I'm gonna try to put it on my mantle in here. So one thing I did last year to make sure I didn't scratch anything, especially my windmill, and now that's gonna come in handy on my wall over here, is I covered the back of this. This is the metal part of the wreath. I covered it in felt. So that's what makes me think I can do this and not damage my wall. So the wreath comes in sections, as you can see, and it has bolts, nuts and bolts that hold it together, and I just have to screw it together. Okay, here is the two sections that have to go together because this is how I hung it. I created a wire across the back of my wreath, and I wrapped it in floral tape to make sure. I'll try to give you another look at that when I get this put together. All right, wreath is put together. I screwed all the little nuts and bolts. It took a minute, and now I'm gonna fluff her up, and she fluffs up beautifully, but definitely fluff everything. Fluff your garland, your wreaths, your trees. Would never just put this up without fluffing it, because you're gonna have, see, you wanna fluff it. Okay, here's a look at the back side, and this is the wire that I made, like a picture frame wire, and wrapped it in floral tape so I didn't get any scratches. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that's the right height and place to hang with the hook that's already there. But first I'm gonna fluff. The fluffing won't be quite as dramatic this year as it was last year because it's still pretty fluffy from last year, but it has been in the box. But last year when I got it, the fluffing was very dramatic. But this year it's not going to be as dramatic, but still very necessary. All right, here's the part I fluffed. You can see a difference already. It's much wider. So as I'm fluffing, what I'm doing is I'm pulling basically on each little branch, and I'm pulling out to this way and out to this way, making sure that it's got its width and shape and it doesn't look smushed. So super easy, but very necessary.
It's almost in the middle of that square.
Well, I'm gonna like have other stuff that
Yeah, if you have stuff on the mantle.
fluffs up like
Yeah,
in that spot.
it's not so high that it's like, oh, that looks wrong.
What if I make a big bow and it like hangs down?
Yeah, or if you put anything tall up there, like that's gonna.
Yeah, like even if I,
That's what I was thinking, that angle.
well, I'm not, this is not what I'm gonna use
No,
because
but-
it was already here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that closes it out. I think it's fine.
what do you think? Too tall? Is it too high? We'll see. Okay, is it too tall? Is it just the right amount? I don't know. I think when I fill in and maybe I put a big bow, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think I'm gonna leave it there just because there's already a hook there and it's there. So I am gonna probably go back up and fluff a little bit more now that it's hung so that I can see the shape a little bit better. And then I'm going to put a 50-foot cluster on there. I did that last year, so I know exactly the 50-foot cluster is perfect. So putting the 50-foot cluster on there, and then I'm gonna also light the mantle. I'll probably use 2 50-foot clusters on that, so stay tuned. This is 2, 3 on the end and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 teardrop garlands stuck together, and I have never lit this 4 teardrop garlands like this with a cluster light. When I did the bunny mantle, I used snake light, and I think I used 2 snake lights. So, and I had lights left over that I put on the floor. I'm gonna go in with the 50-foot cluster, and it might take 1, it might take 2. Let's see. All right, that's 1 cluster light, lots of lights. And now I'm going to plug in to that cluster light another cluster light. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So what I'll do is I'll use the other end of the lights to plug in to those existing lights. And I will take this part of this light off. So the plug I will take off. And this end, I mean, I could plug in, I guess this is the end I'm gonna use to plug in. The other end has the cover, so I'm gonna cover the other end. I'm gonna use this one to plug in.